New Orleans is a great city. It's known for food and music, unique architecture, and culture. It's definitely busy.
Yeah, but we definitely found you can choose your own experience. You don't necessarily have to stick to the tried and true things to do.
And you don't have to necessarily spend a fortune.
So come along and see what we found. So this morning we find ourselves in New Orleans. We're in Louisiana for a conference, but we have a few days before that. So we're getting ready to head out and just see what we can see today.
We are staying at an Airbnb in the neighborhood of Treme, and so we're actually just a couple blocks to Canal Street, where we are going to pick up the streetcar to head downtown.
Ready?
Yep, let's go. Streetcars are a pretty inexpensive way to get around, and you can either pay exact change or there is an app that you can download. We have gotten what's called a Jazzy Pass for the day, and that'll cover us for the day. And right now the price on that is just $3 a person. So we're headed out. So we saw that there was a ferry that you could take across the Mississippi River to the far side, where you could get a pretty good view of the city and escape some of the crowds of the city.
Yeah, the Canal Street ferry takes you over to Algiers Point, which is kind of like a little neighborhood that has pubs and cafes and shops. So it's kind of a nice escape from the downtown of New Orleans.
And it's included as part of the transportation system here. So the Jazzy Pass that we bought included this as well, but if not, it still would have only been $2 to take the ferry.
Yep, not bad. So now we're in Jackson Square, which is in the French Quarter of New Orleans, and it's very touristy, but the park itself is like a little oasis.
It's surprisingly calm in here. Very nice break from being out and all the people. The cathedral, the St. Louis Cathedral, which is sort of an iconic structure in New Orleans and really associated with the city, is right across the street. And outside the park, there's street artists selling a lot of different variety of art. There's tours, horse-drawn carriage tours and rides. There's music happening on the street. There's all kinds of things going on down here. And just catty corner over here is Café du Monde, which is probably the best known place in New Orleans to get beignets.
Yes, the line is insanely long, and we are opting out of beignets this time, but we're going to explore the park and the area and see what we find.
Beignets later.
Yes.
Music is an integral part of any New Orleans experience, and we were told by several people since arriving in Louisiana that if you want to see live jazz, Frenchmen Street is the place to go. Mardi Gras time, when you visit New Orleans, you can still get a taste of the celebration at Mardi Gras World, which is a huge warehouse where they store parade floats and props and where artists are working on things for next year.
So one of the many things that New Orleans is famous for is its cemeteries, because for most of it it's pretty unique. In Louisiana, they pretty much have to keep everyone above ground because we're kind of below sea level from what we understand. And there's a lot of cemeteries to see. Most of them you have to see with a tour. You're not allowed to just wander, but if you get away from Canal Street and the riverfront, then you can find cemeteries. So we are in St. Louis Cemetery number 3 is what it says on Google Maps, and we were just able to wander in and see what there is to see.
Beignets are a must-eat when you are in New Orleans, and the best-known place is Café du Monde. They have 2 locations, one in the French Quarter by Jackson Square and one in City Park. We did stop by the main location, but we found it to be a little crazy, and so we actually had our beignets in the less crowded City Park location. Not even sure how to do this. There's so much sugar. New Orleans City Park is another great place to get off the beaten path a little bit. There are 1,400 acres here to explore and a lot of additional activities, from mini golf to the Botanic Gardens to a museum of art, and you can even rent kayaks or a swan boat. Thanks for joining us as we explored New Orleans. We hope that our experiences will help you plan your trip.
And if you made it this far, please consider hitting that like button, especially hit that subscribe button. And until we meet again in the next video,
Thanks, and enjoy your travels.